The Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair, is a law that prohibits race-based hair discrimination, which is the denial of employment and educational opportunities because of hair texture or protective styles. Joining us now to discuss this issue is FAMU law professor Patricia Broussard. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
What is the Crown Act?
Well, I think you properly laid out what it is. It's protection for basically women of color, but it can extend to anyone who chooses to wear their hair in a protected hairstyle, which might be cornrows, locks, or anything of that nature. But specifically, it says you cannot discriminate or deny rights and privileges or job promotion based upon a black woman's hairstyles.
And is it addressed in the Civil Rights Act?
Well, so it's ambiguous in the Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act talks about, race, color, creed, those kinds of things. And so it's open to interpretation. And thus far, it appears that it has not been interpreted as being covered by that. Otherwise, you would not need the Crown Act if you could extrapolate it from the Civil Rights Act.
Exactly. Why is black hair special?
So I am really intrigued, and I have been doing a series of panels about black hair. And the reason I have been doing it is because I see a resurrection of people of color, of women of color, of men of color, saying, this is how I woke up today. This is who and what I am. And you have to take it or leave it. And in doing these panels, I've done a lot of research, and I found out that on the African continent, hair was everything. Hair was your culture. Hair was akin to language. Hair told you everything you needed to know about a person. It told you if they were married, if they were single, if they had children, if they were a woman waiting for her husband who was away at war, whether you were rich, whether you were poor, what your status was. Hair was everything, and therefore hairstyles were adapted to signify what your status was in the society. And it was very interesting that one of the first things that enslavers did when the ships arrived was they shaved the heads of the enslaved people. And a lot of people said, oh, well, that was for lice, or that was for, because of course the horrendous conditions they were kept in. But actually, it was to take away that cultural aspect and of who they were. And it further, just like taking away someone's language, it further denigrated them with respect to their identity. So if you know sort of like the background, you understand how it evolved to what it is today. Now, on the continent, women and men had products, for lack of a better term, that they could use on their hair to style it and to do different things with it. Because they didn't have those products, because they didn't have access to them, their hair just grew out of their hair the way it was, and it turns like nappy and unkept and unruly, developed as a result of that. But it's so amazing to me that there is something in the DNA of these captured, enslaved ancestors of ours that resonated, and they never lost it. So a lot of times when you see young women with cornrows or with locks, those are patterns from centuries ago. Nothing is new. And another interesting fact that I learned was that what enslaved women would do, and this really just blew my mind, they would plait into their hair or braid into their hair directions on how to escape.
Really?
So there was a map on your head, and nobody knew it. Yeah, so I mean, it's intriguing. So I love the fact that we are taking a step back and we're saying, no, it's not unprofessional. No, it doesn't say anything about your intelligence or anything about you negatively if you choose to express yourself the way you woke up that day.
Right. Now, where is hair discrimination happening?
I think it's happening everywhere. I think it's happening in so-called white-collar jobs, blue-collar jobs. I think it's happening with people you encounter on the street. Why is your hair like that? But there's something else that we have to guard against. I think that the pendulum has swung, right? The pendulum has swung into the direction of saying natural hair is okay. But I think it needs to swing back a little bit more to the center and say, however you choose to express yourself through your hair is okay. You are okay in how you determine who and what you are. And that's why I look at women who have weaves, who have wigs, who have purple hair, who have blue hair, and say, do you.
Right.
And in doing you, it does not say anything about your intelligence, about anything. And I actually went around with my iPhone and took videos, and my research assistant put together, and we have a little video. And I interviewed people from 4 years old to 65 years old. And I just said to them, tell me what you think about your hair. And what was astounding to me was that all of these people of color with all of these various hairstyles said, I love me. And I don't think 20 or 30 years ago you would have gotten that.
Oh no, I don't want to interrupt you, but my mom was told not to bring me back because this is my natural hair and it would take 4 hours under the dryer, and so that gave me a complex growing up. So this thing about, criticizing you for having big hair, I've had that personal experience. So
that is amazing. And the reason I say that is amazing because one of the ways when I do this panel, and I've done it with a black guy with dreadlocks who was a barrister in England who has to put that white wig on top of his dreaded hair. What I start off with when I start this panel is stories. Is everybody's got a story about hair. Every black woman that you know will tell you, oh, I didn't like my hair, I did like my hair, I was intimidated, I was told you're a nappy head, I was told that, and my story was, I grew up in the projects on the west side of Chicago, and I was ostracized because they said you got good hair. I just wanted to belong. I just wanted to be part of the tribe.
Yes.
And the tribe were the women who sat with my next door neighbor on a daily basis, who was the neighborhood hairdresser, and got their hair done. I wanted to get my hair done.
Right.
Because in getting your hair done, you had conversations.
Yes.
You laughed.
Yes.
You shared.
You were part of the inner circle.
You were part of the inner circle. And that's what tribalism is. That's what belonging to a tribe is. So it's amazing to me, and I'm so glad that you mentioned what your experience was, because we all have one. But it inures to our detriment, because not only are we criticized internally, we're criticized by the larger society. So we can't get it right.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Anything you'd like to add?
I'm thrilled that the results of my little video, in seeing that people are accepting themselves, they're loving themselves. And one of the folks who I interviewed is a law student who's getting ready, who has he has big hair, and he's getting ready to do a job with the firm, and he says, you don't get me without my hair.
I think I know him. Yeah,
yeah, so
I love
if
him.
my hair is unacceptable, I'm unacceptable. And to take a stance like that is really amazing. I was really pleased to hear that Texas is now added to the states that has ratified the Crown Act. So that's progress. So once again, I am thrilled, because this is a topic, as I teach constitutional law, so this is a topic that I'm really, really thrilled about having a conversation. So I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
It was good to see you, and thank you for sharing and helping to bring awareness to this important topic.
Thank you.
No one should be targeted for being who they are. The Crown Coalition and the Legal Defense Fund are joining forces to end hair discrimination and push for the Crown Act to become law, prohibiting hair discrimination in all 50 states.